What is up, brothers and sisters? Welcome to the Mitch Gray Show. Thank you for checking us out once again. Make sure you subscribe to the show if you haven't yet. The Mitch Gray Show, anywhere you listen to podcasts, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel to get the video versions of the show. That's Mitch Gray Media on YouTube. And as I promised earlier in the year, 2020, and all of its craziness is about having guests on the show. This is think our fifth year doing the podcast, and I've not had a lot of guests before now, but we've done it. It's May, and all we've had is guests every single week, and so it's been fun. And today I have an awesome guest with me. We have been trying to get her on the show for like 2.5 months now, and life happens, and coronavirus appears, and craziness ensues. But we're here today. Alyssa Lynn, welcome to the Mitch Gray Show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
You are welcome. I feel like you're sitting outside. Am I right?
I am, yes.
You are. Okay, so friends, if you hear any awesome sounds of nature or cars driving by,
Rain currently.
yes, rain, that's okay. We love the sound of rain. So, yeah, I'm glad you're sitting outside. Front porch, back porch, side porch. Where are you sitting?
Front porch, front porch.
Front porch. So, do you have a really nice view? You got to kind of. Our listeners digitally or in audio can't see what's happening, so it will do me no good to have you turn your camera around. So
Yep.
you're a writer and an artist. Paint the picture for us. What do you see right now?
I am in the middle of the woods, actually, in the middle of nowhere. So all around me is a bunch of trees, except for the road that's in front of me, and on the other side of the road is some more trees.
I have to say that's about the best picture you could have right now. I would love to be sitting in your chair right now just looking at the trees. That would be epic.
Yep, you're far away from craziness right
Yes,
now.
yes, yes, and it's so beautiful to be in nature. So, and the part of the country that you're in, I know is beautiful because I've been in that area before, and it's amazing. So good. Well, congratulations. We could just stop the show there, and it'd be good enough that you're just sitting on your front porch. But I have to ask, please tell me, are you drinking lemonade?
I'm not.
Oh, that's the only
Good
thing that.
though.
Yes, that's the only thing that might make that better is if you were drinking lemonade. Well, Alyssa, thanks for being on the Mitch Gray Show. For those of you that don't know about Alyssa, she is an up and coming country music, I'm going to say it, star, because that's what's going to happen to her in her life. Alyssa's been playing music for a while. She's a writer. Do you just have one song out, or do you have multiple songs? I can't remember.
I have had 3 singles, but I have a EP that's available everywhere you can get music.
That's right. I knew about the EP and forgot about it. So three singles and an EP, and it's
Yes.
Alyssa Lynn music. Anywhere you can find music, her music is out there. She's very, very good. But the best thing about Alyssa's life right now is like so many 18-year-old seniors in America, her senior year has been so interrupted by this craziness. So tell me, we'll get to the music in a little bit. Let's talk about what's really happening. How has it been? How are you dealing with all of this? What this whole new experience?
It's definitely been completely different than what I would have thought my senior year would be 3, 4 years ago when I first started high school. So I mean, I've been doing online school for the past like 3 years, so the online portion and the being at home and stuff isn't new.
Right?
So, I mean, it was easier to be able to adjust to. But then again, I also finished all of my classes this year right when this virus first started.
Mm.
So I finished pretty much before all the craziness happened. But the funny thing is that when I transferred over to online stuff, I transferred over 10th grade. So all the way up to ninth grade, I was in public school. In ninth grade, my first year of high school, I was like, doing stuff with friends and everything else. And then I moved and then I switched over to the online stuff. And I'm like, well, at least I get to go back senior year for my prom and my graduation. I get to see all my friends and I
Yes.
get to graduate with everybody. And then here we are.
Little did you know, right? Little
Yep.
did you know. So no
Yep.
prom, no prom.
Mm,
Probably an adjusted graduation ceremony, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to be strange. So, yeah, it's just such an interesting time to be alive. So, it's impacted your experiences your senior year. How has all this impacted your music? Like, what's kind of going on with all of that?
So not, it's obviously hard to um, write normally how I do because I love writing with people. I'd rather co-write and write with people than by myself.
Hmm.
Um, so it's been a little harder to write with people because over video chat and Zoom and Skype is a lot different.
Right.
So that, but also like I can't go to radio stations. I can't play anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's been difficult to try to expand in different places and travel for stuff.
Yeah.
But I've been doing a lot of writing over Zoom and all that. So I've been getting some good songs in my repertoire that I'm actually really excited about. So
Do we get a sneak peek at all?
I can give you
you,
some
you can say no. It's okay. I did not
I
prepare you for that
can
question.
I can okay. I actually can tell you a title of the most recent one I wrote
Oh
that I'm
yes,
actually really, really excited about.
yes. Tell us.
It's called Never Gone Memory.
Never Gone Memory. Okay,
Yes.
nice title. So, have you recorded that one yet, or is that a future recording?
It is definitely a future recording.
Okay. And there, my friends,
Nature.
is our first sign of nature. I love it. I love it. I love it. Future never gone memory. Okay, we'll keep that. All everyone that's listening to the show, just put a note in their phone that when Alyssa's song "Never Gone Memory" comes out, everyone's going to download it. So see, you kind of actually did some marketing there without even knowing
Yes.
it. That
Yes.
that hopefully you've already got like 300 downloads just ready to go. So
Right now.
yes,
Yep.
yes. So we will be waiting patiently for that. Well, thank you for sharing that. So let's rewind pre COVID-19, and I know just from following you on social media, you were pretty active trying to build your brand and your music. What were some of the things you were doing before all this kind of put everything on pause?
Yeah, so I was doing a lot of writing with different people and starting to record and meeting with different people for venues and festivals and to be able to play places and um, just getting my name out there more, not in just the Tennessee area, but in different states
Mm-hmm.
too. So before all this, I was working on getting up a tour and releasing new music and stuff like that to expand, especially since I knew that I was going to be finished with school early this year, so I could
Right.
focus a little bit more on music and traveling and in the summer and everything like that too. So
So, what were some of the type venues you were playing? Were you doing many concerts? Were you doing like radio stations? Where were you kind of hitting the most stuff?
mostly radio this past
Yeah.
fall before the holidays came and then the new year I did a lot of radio stuff to plan for um, tour dates and venues to go play at for this year in those same areas of where I went to radio stations.
Right, right. So kind of just setting
So,
that marketing plan. Yeah, you can
yep,
appear on the radio, get some radio play, come back and play shows. Yeah, yeah,
yep,
perfect. So what does it look like moving forward? You've obviously, I think you said you were moving into the holidays, obviously in the music world, and in a lot of situations the holidays kind of pause everything, and then all this happened.
yep.
So you're writing. Are you getting ready to record some stuff? Are you getting what's kind of the next plan since you can't really tour? Probably for a little while. What does that look like?
Yeah. Definitely a lot of writing,
Yeah.
a lot of co-writing, writing with different people.
Right.
I've actually got a couple friends that have invited me to do like collab lives with them on like
Mm-hmm.
Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that I've been doing and that I'm going to be doing. So there's just trying to be a little bit more active on the internet. It's hard to do when you can't do anything,
Right.
and it's really hard to like try to be out there and tell everybody what you're doing when
Yeah.
everybody's doing nothing.
Yes, yeah. It is,
So,
and I've seen some creative musicians that are doing obviously at home type stuff.
yeah,
Even a lot of big time artists that are kind of doing just little private type concerts. But it is, everyone's having to get really creative. The benefit to it is you have a kind of a captive audience because most people are at home doing nothing. And
yeah.
so yeah, that's a possibility for some things. So let's talk about. We've kind of talked about what you were doing before, what you're doing now, what you're hopefully going to be doing after. But let's go way back.
Okay.
When did you fall in love with music? When did you kind of decide, hey, this is kind of a cool thing I can do?
Yeah. So I tell everybody that I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee. I lived there the longest period of time
Yeah.
out of the years. Um, and every Saturday there was this place called Karaoke Cafe, and every Saturday my parents and I would go, and my parents' friends, and we'd do karaoke, and I would see all these other people, and then my mom would sing karaoke here and there, and I was like, well, I want to do it. So, of course, my 5-year-old self sang Taylor Swift and Hannah Montana.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah.
So, every Saturday, if someone heard Hannah Montana, they're like, oh, Alyssa's here.
Awesome.
So I started singing in front of people at a really young age
Yeah.
because a lot of people would come to that specific cafe because it was like the best karaoke place over there.
Right.
So I started singing in front of people when I was really young. So I've been used to singing in front of people because like a lot of times people ask me if I get stage fright, and I'm like, whoa, I've been doing it for a long time, so not really.
Right.
I get really nervous sometimes though, but it's more like butterflies than it is nerves.
Mm-hmm.
So I get more excited. But and then I started playing guitar when I was 10 years old. Um, my family is very musical.
Okay.
My mom sings. My dad used to sing in high school choir. Um, my great grandmother is one of 13 kids,
Wow.
and yeah,
Wow.
and all of her siblings plays an instrument except for her.
Okay.
So my uncles play guitar, and then a couple of their kids play guitar, and I am actually very proud of this because I think I'm like the there's only 3 of us in my generation that actually play an instrument, but I am the only girl in the family that even plays at all.
Nice. Nice.
So
Yeah. Nice. Now, do you only play guitar? Or do you play other instruments?
I play guitar. I play a little bit of ukulele, but my main instrument's guitar.
Guitar. Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So when did you decide I'm really going to do music? Like you fell in love with it as a kid at 5 doing karaoke with your mom, and then at 10 you picked up a guitar. But when did you decide? Okay, this is what I really want to try and do with my life.
I was I was 14 years old. I was turning 15 in a couple months. I did my very first competition playing in front of judges and getting like actual feedback from things to help me besides just playing for my family.
Right now, was that like at school or at like a fair or where was that competition?
It was at this like little convention center thing. It
Right.
was like a singers rising
Okay.
star, some
Okay.
kind of competition thing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I mean, I actually didn't go through at all, but it was really cool to experience it and then watch other people that were there and the judges and stuff like that. And then I started to do more competitions, and then I was like, well, now I want to go do like writers rounds when I started going back and forth to Nashville.
Right.
When I was 15, 16 years old, I was going back and forth, and I did writers rounds and all this, and then I started doing shows that were like full sets and stuff,
Right.
and then it kind of went further from there. But yeah, I was 14, and I was like,
Oh.
I like this, but I also could
Right.
get paid for this.
Yes. 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 So for our listeners that don't know and that aren't writers, explain to us what a writer's round is.
So a lot of places in Nashville,
Mm-hmm.
or I mean anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
but mainly in Nashville, you go to a restaurant or a bar or something like that, and they have a stage, and there's usually between 3 and 5 chairs that these people come and sit on, and you go down the line. Everyone sings an original song that they wrote, and it just goes around in a circle once or twice. So, Writers Round.
Yeah, it's literally what it says. It's a round
Yeah.
of writers. Like it's literally what it says.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
You literally go around in a
right.
circle and you sing
Yeah,
things that you
songs
wrote.
that you've written. Yes. So tell me about that experience. First of all, where there are some really, really well-known places in Nashville for writers' rounds. Like if you just Google writers' rounds in Nashville, the top 4 or 5, it's not just people, that just write songs. I mean, you're getting people that show up there. In fact, writers' rounds in Nashville are very well known for famous artists to go try out new stuff. Or it's
Yeah,
very
just drop in.
yes,
Whoa.
yep. Or for songwriters that, people that may not be playing their music, they just want to write and sell their songs. They often sell songs at writers' rounds. And so now that people know that a writers' round in Nashville is not just people sitting around at Christmas time, it's like you never know who you're going to see or meet or who's in the audience. So tell me some of your favorite moments. Let's start there. What are your favorite moments you've had at a writers' round experience? And then tell me maybe a place or two you've actually done a writers' round.
So, writers rounds in general is that afterwards you get to meet all the other writers too, but you also meet everybody there that's there just to listen to music. So I've actually met a couple people that were writers that I wrote with afterwards, and we've gotten some really great songs. So I love writing with new people and meeting people at writers rounds. But one of my favorite experiences was it wasn't actually writers. It was kind of a writers round, but Monday nights, the Bluebird Cafe does Writers Night.
Yes.
So everyone individually goes up and plays a song individually, and then they sit back down, and then another song by the next person. And I have a song on my EP, which is called My Home, and the song that I'm talking about is actually My Home. It's about like how I've moved and all that over the years, and I actually had someone that was there just listening to music that's actually in the military, and she really connected to it, and she told me like how much she absolutely loved the song, and she like really felt like emotional to it. And a lot of people do ask me if my dad was in the military, and he isn't.
Right.
Which makes it the song even better, because not only do a lot of military people relate to it, but anybody in general that's moved from one spot to another more than once, or didn't have like a childhood home or anything like that. Like my best friend, she has this door frame, and she actually has marks of her and her sister of like their height and everything. And I'm like, I think I've lived in like 12 houses over the span of
Yeah.
18 years.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that doesn't exist
But,
in your world. Yes,
no.
yes, yeah, but that is special. Yeah. Yes, I would say it's a really cool experience to write a song, present it to an audience, and someone definitely connecting to it. Last week on next week's episode of the show. Actually, I take that back. It'll be this week's episode. I get confused because I do the interview and then release the show. And last week I did 3 interviews, and so I'm like, I don't remember when they're releasing. It'll be this week's episode of an interview I did last week of Will Bannister, which Will Bannister is a really, really strong up and coming country artist. And we were talking about the same thing, about how it's just as a creator and an artist and a writer, when you play your song and you look out and either people are singing it or someone comes up to you afterwards and talks about how they connected to it, or you release the song and someone sends you a message and tells you what it meant to them, like that's really the reason you write. You write so that there's human connection, and that's amazing to me. I started writing when I was 12. And so it's amazing to me that you started writing that young, and then even a few years later after you start writing, that you're already presenting it to the world and people are really responding. And so that's a really cool experience. It's a really cool experience, and it's both humbling, and you're grateful and humbled, but you're also like your adrenaline goes up because you're like, okay, if I did it once, I can do it again. And so it
Yep.
really feeds your soul, but you're also humbled and grateful that someone really connected to. The way I describe art is that you're taking your soul and presenting it to the world, and there's no other career path outside of art, whether it's music or painting or writing or whatever. That you're literally just taking your soul and going, here, world, either accept me
Yeah.
or reject me.
Yep.
And it's a really cool thing when that happens. So yeah, that's awesome. So are writers rounds something you'll maybe do more of in the future? I mean, obviously it's a great networking tool. Is that something that you think you can see more in your future, since you are, kind of around the Nashville area or getting involved in that? What do you think you see yourself doing there?
I definitely see myself doing them still
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm going to, because I've done them a lot,
Mm.
so I want to, like, my main focus is going to try to expand outside of Nashville
Yeah.
and outside of Tennessee
Yeah.
and go to surrounding states and everything else. But for sure, I definitely will still do songwriter rounds because that's where I started.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've toured a little bit in the past. Obviously, you're kind of laying your foundation, getting going. I'm assuming you've probably done some opening acts. Is that correct?
Yes.
So tell the people, who are some people you've opened for in the past.
I have opened up for Drake White, Montgomery Gentry twice, and John Michael Montgomery,
Yeah.
which was really fun.
Yeah. How were those experiences? I mean, those are some big names. So
Yes.
congratulations, first of all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, how were those experiences? What did you learn from them? What are you gonna hang on? What memories do you have of them?
It was it was so cool because they were all in summer, right?
Yeah.
Because most people have concerts and go to concerts in the summer, and they were at like festivals and stuff in like these little towns, and um these people that like I opened up for, and um the other openers that were there
Hmm.
too, they were all so welcoming to what was going on, and everyone there that was planning the events, like all the venue and the staff working at the venue, they were all very very sweet and welcoming too. And I remember I did a show where I opened up for Drake White in Kansas, and there was so many kids at that one.
Yeah.
There were so many kids everywhere. And my favorite part of that entire show is they're not afraid of literally anything.
Right. Right.
So all of them will gather around right in the front and they'll just start dancing. And it's
Yes.
the cutest thing.
Right. Yeah. How is
That was
playing?
fun.
How is playing live for you? Like, what is that? A lot of people are. You kind of have people that are writers. You have people that are performers. You have people that are both. So how is playing live for you? What does that mean to you?
I love playing live.
Yeah.
I've over the when I did those shows, when I opened up, I played myself. I accompanied myself. It was just me and my guitar. So that does have limits sometimes when it comes to performing
Hmm.
certain things, but I mean, I had fun and I got great feedback from it. So in the future, I'm definitely going to be touring and playing at venues with a band, which I'm going to be really excited about.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So, because playing with a band and playing solo is completely different.
Yes. Very
So
different.
I'm
Yeah.
excited to play with a band and actually like get more into like the
Hmm.
entertaining side of
Hmm.
things.
Hmm.
Um, I love my guitar, so it's kind of hard to put it down, but
Right. Right. Yeah. Playing with the band, the energy is just different. Very, very different.
yeah.
Yeah. Very. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Yeah.
I've
Good.
I've I played with a small like house band at a venue one time, and it
Right.
was super fun, and I've rehearsed with a full band
Yeah.
before, and when I recorded my EP, I was in the studio with the band and stuff, and I was right there, and um just being around a band in
Hmm.
general is really fun.
Yeah. 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 That's cool. Let's talk about writing. What is your favorite song you've ever written?
Oh man, there's so many. Oh, I gotta say though, that the song that we were talking about earlier, the Never Gone
Mhm.
Memory, is probably my favorite right now
N-
because of everything in it.
right. How new is that one? Is it really new?
Yeah, I wrote it last month.
Nice. Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Good. So we're all still expecting that song. We've been waiting for
Yes.
10 minutes and it's not out yet. So we're still expecting that song. Um, what is when you write a song, where do you start? Do you start with a melody? Do you start with an idea? Do you start with the lyrics? What's kind of your writing style?
It's backwards and forwards and so different.
Yeah.
I I start with an idea.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a words person
Okay.
more than anything. That's why I love co-writing with people because um, the words and the lyrics is my strong suit
Hmm.
over melodies.
Hmm.
Um, so I love writing with someone because um, we get this melody going and this feel, and then I'd be like, okay, well, which one of my ideas can I fit with how this feels?
Right.
And then I go with words through there and other stuff, and as we write through the song, then I can pick different parts where I want to change melodically how it goes or how I would sing it or certain things like that.
Right.
So I mean, I'm more of a words person, but when it comes to the thing as a whole, I mean, I love to put my own spin on different melodies than what other people come up with when we get something going.
Right. Right.
But
Has it been, how different has it been writing with others versus writing by yourself?
oh, I think it's completely
Yeah.
different. Like
Yeah.
the whole feeling of it is so different because writing with someone, you can have an idea and then you can bounce back ideas until you
Mhm.
get the absolute best line you can get rather than with yourself, you're trying to compete with what you already have yourself, and you don't have any other different perspectives coming into what you already have.
Right.
So I think writing by myself is definitely a lot harder. I've written some songs by myself, but they're more like the emotional, like heartfelt ones that not somebody else could say
Right. Right.
because of what it means and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's cool. So you're, as we said before, you're 18, senior in high school. What is it like to try and balance the idea of saying, I want to chase this dream, this is what I want to do, and being, now you're a teenager moving into adulthood, but what has it been to try and balance all of that?
it's definitely been trying to do school and then doing shows in the past and doing school on the weekends because I have a show on a Thursday or a Friday or I have a rehearsal on Wednesday. So I have to do schoolwork on Saturday or Sunday, which is not normally what teenagers do. And I actually, my 10th grade, 10th and kind of half of 11th, I did school during the summer, which
Oh,
sucked.
wow. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Huh.
then again, I was able to pack up and go do whatever show I wanted whenever.
Right.
So it was really nice to be able to do that. But going into, and it's even weirder too, because going into this adulthood of me being done with school and stuff at the same time as all the craziness with what's going on now,
Yes.
it's just been at a
Yes.
halt of everything's not happening.
Yes.
So it's been crazy.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing about all that craziness? Okay, two questions. Number one, what's your favorite thing? And number two, what's your least favorite thing?
So my favorite thing is even like doing a lot of this stuff and being like being based out of Nashville. My
Mm-hmm.
dad still moves here and there for work,
Mm-hmm.
so I've actually been able to see my dad a lot
Mm-hmm.
recently because he's been at home, and I've been able to see like family more now than I have before. My least favorite thing is that I can't go and play anywhere. I can't even not music related. I can't go and see friends.
Right, right, right.
So that's been difficult.
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about this. Before the show, you and I were talking about how it's interesting that sometimes as adults, parents, teachers, whoever, we tell young people, especially creative people, well, life has to be lived this way, or this is the path that you need to take, whether it's going to college or finding a traditional career or whatever that is. So let's talk about, you started at a pretty young age going, this is what I want to do. How has it been as a young person trying to protect your dream from others telling you, no, 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 you should do it this way? And what are some things you've done to kind of keep that dream alive and kind of keep, hope? Because sometimes it can get frustrating. It can get
Oh,
frustrating
yeah.
booking shows. It can get frustrating when you don't have the response that you really want. So, how's that been as a teenager trying to say, no, this is my dream. I'm going to protect this dream. This is the direction I'm going. And then, what are some of those frustrations that you have faced, those challenges that you've faced that you would want to share with someone? If you were sitting across from 15-year-old self and you were like,
Yeah.
okay, in the last 3 or 4 years, this is what I would have done differently. What are some of those kind of protections that you've had, and then frustrations?
So a lot of things that were like, I guess, frustrating was my age. I wasn't able to do certain things.
Right.
Like I can't play certain places because you can at the age of 15 and stuff like that. So it was very hard to try to be able to get out there because they're like, as a new artist, you need to get out and put your name out there. But then they're also like, but you can't go
You can't
anywhere to
play
play
anywhere.
anywhere.
Yeah, right.
So,
Right.
but then the places that I was able to play at, um, people would come up to me and tell me that they really liked a song, and they tell me their story as to why, and people would get like a connection with songs and or the way my voice sounds, or like talking to them and how I'm as a person, or seeing kids and certain stuff like that, and hearing other people's stories of things, and I'm like, okay, this is why I love doing this.
Yes.
Like it's a great reminder as to keep pushing and keep going to the same venues that I've been going, even if since I can't go to the other ones and do all that. But when this craziness is over, I can play anywhere
Yep.
now.
Yep. There you go. There you go. So let's talk about playing anywhere. If I could say to you, in the next 10 years, you'll be able to play anywhere you want. Where would your top two venues be? And if you don't say one of the ones I'm thinking of, then we're gonna have to have a conversation.
Yeah, for sure the Opry,
Yeah,
obviously.
yep, that's where I was going. I was like, if she
Yep.
doesn't say that, we have a problem. Yeah,
I definitely, I definitely want to play at the Opry for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
And then I don't know. I really like outside,
Okay.
like the like big outside venues.
Hmm.
There's one in Ohio. Um it's called the Blossom. It's like
Hmm.
Akron Canton area. It's huge outside
Yeah.
um stage. So I really want to do a lot of outside like big things, like so that way, like if people can't get it like a seat, they can stand, or there's the ground.
Right.
People pull up their vehicles and they sit on the back of their truck and stuff like that. I think that is like a really cool setting
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah. One of my favorite venues that I've always dreamed of being able to play at is the Red Rocks. That would be,
Okay.
yeah, if you haven't ever seen it, it's amazing. Yeah, but the same outdoor venue. The outdoor venues are really cool. So yeah, if you didn't say the Opry, I was going to be like, okay, girl, we got to talk, because
Yep. Yep.
you can't be wanting to get there in country music and not have that
Yep.
as your number one venue.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So what's next for you? If we're looking, you know, 5 years down the road, where do you see yourself?
I really want to. I just want to be able to put out the music that I feel is best connected with not only me, but
Yeah.
everyone that listens to me, and go play at these places around the United States and just travel and play my music, and people like it. So
Yeah, that's the ultimate thing, right? Yeah. If you were to talk to someone that's your age and you were to, they told you, hey, there's something I really want to do in life, what's maybe your best piece of advice? Maybe something you've learned or something that you already knew that you've seen kind of come true. What's kind of the best piece of advice you would give that person?
I would say that, definitely work hard, as cliche as that sounds, but don't work too hard and then miss out on being a teenager and teenage life and stuff like that, because a lot of the things that I write about or songs that I have are things that have happened
Right.
with different experiences. So if you get sucked into too much of the work and you miss out on those opportunities and those activities as a teenager, then you don't have things to be able to connect with your audience with.
Right. Yeah.
So that's something I definitely learned.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So why country music?
Well, I mean, I'm from the South, so that has a little thing to do with it.
Okay.
But I was raised on country.
Yeah.
For sure. So I love country music.
Yeah.
I love all genres. I love truck going by.
It's okay. We'll cut that out later.
Yeah. Yeah, I love country music.
Yeah.
I love pop music. I love southern rock music. I love rock music. I love all music. And when I write and when I go in studio and work with producers and stuff, we pull little things from all these different like people I'm influenced by, but that's not only country, but other genres or other artists in general. But I don't know. I like at the end of the day, I just love the way country sounds better.
Yeah, it's who you are, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite artist right now?
Oh my gosh, I have to say Maren Morris. I really love her stuff.
Yeah. She's really exploded over the last couple of years. Like it's.
Oh yeah.
It's been crazy. So been fun to watch. Well, cool.
Yeah, I love her, and I also love Lauren Elena, because I actually followed Lauren Elena through her career since she was on Idol.
Right.
So it's been fun to see her like go up and then go down just a little bit, and then like boom, here she is again.
Come back. Yeah, and both of them have kind of had a similar trajectory, really, over the last couple of years. It's been, and they're kind of now at the point that they're getting to that level that is insanely sustainable as far as a music career. So yeah. So Alyssa, we have something we do at the end of each show. I ask 5 questions, and you can only give a one-word answer, and you have to answer. There are no like you can't just hang up on me and leave. Like you have to answer. That's the deal. Okay. So regarding books, do you prefer digital or paperback?
Paper.
Nice. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
What's one guilty pleasure that you have?
Crocheting.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, who taught you how to crochet?
My grandmother.
Okay, so what are some things you've crocheted? Like this just kind of astounded me. Like it's like I would have told you if you would have told me I'm going to interview an 18-year-old senior in high school and her guilty pleasure is crocheting, I would have been like, no way.
Oh man, it gets people every time.
What are some things you've made?
I have made little blankets for a couple babies in the family, some cousins. I've made some blankets for toddlers, so just a bigger blanket.
Right.
And I've made like little house slippers, and like koozies. Koozies are really easy, like to put your can in.
Look at you. Okay, crochet queen. All right. Nice. I have to give you like credit because that's probably the best guilty pleasure answer I've had so far. That's awesome. Okay, what's one thing you cannot live without?
Mm, my guitar.
Your guitar? Yeah, I had a gut feeling you were gonna say that. And your favorite season of the year, of the weather, like the year. What's your favorite season?
Fall.
Fall? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And falls in Tennessee are beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. Cool. Alyssa, anything else you want to tell the people? Oh, I have something else I wanted to ask. If where can they find, like, say someone's listening and goes, yeah, once all this craziness is over, we would love to book Alyssa. Where would they go to contact you, book you for a show? What does that look like?
My website would be the easiest. It's alyssalynnmusic.com,
Okay.
and any way to contact me is in the right-hand corner.
Cool. So go to
Super easy.
AlyssaLynnmusic.com and go find her. Yeah, book her for a show. That'd be awesome. Make sure you
Yes.
follow Alyssa on Instagram, the Alyssa Lynn Music. So I'm gonna spell that for you. The THE. Alyssa is ALYSSA. Lynn is LYNN, and then music. So follow her on Instagram, the Alyssa Lynn Music. She's a great follow. Puts up cool stuff like fishing and playing around on the farm, and of course music. So
Yes.
see, I do pay attention. I do pay attention. So yeah, Alyssa's a great follow, and please go download her music, Alyssa Lynn Music, anywhere you listen to music. She's got some really, really cool stuff out there. And another 15, 20 minutes has gone by, Alyssa, and that new single is not out. We are
I know.
really disappointed. So you better.
We're waiting.
We're waiting. We've already got. Oh, now we're up to 500 people that want to make sure they download that
Yep.
song when you. So yeah, we're awaiting that. Cool. Any last thing you want to tell the people, Alyssa, before we finish up the show?
Just look forward to some new music because
Yeah.
it's gonna be. I'm getting a lot of it.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. Nice.
Staying at home.
Yeah. Build that music bank up so when you get ready to record,
Yes.
it's ready to go. Okay. Follow Alyssa on Instagram, Alyssa Lynn Music. Follow us on Instagram, M Gray Media. Make sure you subscribe to the Mitch Gray Show and our YouTube channel. Can't talk. Mitch Gray Media on YouTube. And yeah, I hope everyone is safe and happy, and I hope you've enjoyed this interview with Alyssa. Please go download her music. And Alyssa, hang on the line. We'll talk for a second. Brothers and sisters, please have a great day, and we will talk to you next week.